In this video, we are going to discuss an experiment on studying different types of habitats. We know that different types of organisms are found in different types of habitats and they are adapted to survive in their habitats. Just like camels, they can survive in a desert, whereas a polar bear can survive in the polar areas. So let's talk about these habitats. The materials required would be pictures of different habitats and different animals staying in those particular habitats. Let us first talk about a desert land habitat. So on your screen, you can see these desert plants. You can see this Gila monster and you can also see a camel. You will find all these types of plants and animals in the desert. So what is the climate of a desert like and what are the adaptations that are present in these animals that help them to survive in the harsh climatic conditions of the desert? The plants of the desert, they need to conserve water because as we all know, there is a acute shortage of water in the deserts. And for that reason, their roots penetrate deep into the soil, their leaves are reduced to spines, and their stems are succulent. Succulent means they are green in color because they are the ones who will be preparing the food by the process of photosynthesis, plus they store water in them. So these are some adaptations you will find in the desert plants. So for desert plants, you all must have seen a cactus, and that is a perfect example for a desert plant. Talking about the camel, it is also known as the ship of the desert. In ancient times, when there were no cars, no trains, no such modern means of communication and traveling, camel was the only mode through which people used to travel in the desert. So what is it that enables the camel to survive in such hot and dry climatic conditions of the desert? It has long legs, which keeps its body away from the heat of the desert sand. It has broad feet, which helps it to walk in the sand. It has a hump on its back, which helps in the storage of water. So these are few conditions or few adaptations that are found in the camel that help it to survive in the desert. Also, it has long eyelashes. So in case of a dust storm, which is very common in the desert, the dust does not get into its eyes. It can survive several days without water. Similarly, now your task is to find some adaptations in the Gila monster. I'll give you one. It burrows deep into the soil so that it can keep itself like at a normal temperature because the surface temperature of the desert is too high during the daytime. So these were some desert land habitats and adaptations of certain plants and animals which are found in this particular habitat. Next is the mountain habitat. So we all are aware of what mountains are and what kind of climate do we have there. It's generally cold in the mountains and they look beautiful. So whenever we have vacations, we all want to visit the mountains, isn't it? But do you know what kinds of plants and animals do you found in the mountain habitat? If you have been to the mountains, you must have seen pine trees growing up there. So the pine trees, they have needle-like leaves and they are sloping like this. How does it help? Because most of the mountains, they receive snowfall during the winter months. And if the leaves will be broad, then the snow will accumulate on the leaves and because of the weight, the branches may start breaking. So the needle-shaped leaves or the needle-like leaves help the snow to slide off, and the shape also helps the snow to slide off so that there is no weight on the plant and it can stand upright without breaking off. Similarly, the animals living in the mountain habitat, they have to face the extreme cold conditions of the mountainous habitat, due to which they have a very thick fur which keeps their body warm. In addition to that, they have special kind of hooves on their feet which enables them to walk on the cold snow. And some animals like the penguins, they stay in groups, they keep huddled together to keep themselves warm. So these are few adaptations you will find in the plants and the animals of the mountainous habitat. Next is the grassland habitat. So if you look at the first image of your screen, This shows you what a grassland looks like. It's a wide open field full of grass, and the animals commonly found in this kind of a habitat are deer and lions. And if you look at the color of the skin of deer and lion, you'll find that they have that similarity to the grassland habitat, which helps them to hide in the grass without being seen by the predators or by their prey. So in case of deer, it has to protect itself from the predator, that is the lion or the tiger, and the lion has to find its prey. So for that also it needs to hide so that the prey doesn't see it coming. So these are some common adaptations you find in the grassland habitats. Next is the aquatic habitat. Aquatic habitat means habitat in water. It could be of different types. Organisms living in the seas or the oceans where the water is salty are said to occupy a marine habitat, whereas organisms which live in freshwater sources such as rivers, lakes, ponds, they are said to be in a freshwater habitat. So on your screen, you can see the image of an ocean. Now, can you think of some animals that you find in the ocean? Yes, there are many. Whales, dolphins, fishes, seahorses, starfishes, and many, many more. So what are the adaptations that you find in these organisms that enable them to survive in water? Most of them, they have a streamlined body that enables them to swim easily in water. Then they feed on the planktons or other types of organisms that are found in water itself. They have gills for breathing. They don't have lungs like us. They breathe through gills because gills enable them to breathe, uh, to take in oxygen from the water, that is the dissolved oxygen that is present in water. So these are some common adaptations you find in the aquatic habitat. Similarly, in the lake or pond habitat also, like if you look at a duck, you find ducks in ponds or lakes, freshwater sources is what I mean. They have webbed feet that help them to swim easily in water. Then there are aquatic plants also. You might find some plants floating on water when you visit some lakes. Especially you must have seen the lotus plants which look really beautiful. So these are some common examples of plants and animals you find in aquatic habitats. So your task will be, I have given you so many different names of organisms that are found in different kinds of habitats. You can look for some more.